Now imagine this. A thought appears in your mind, just for a second, and before you even notice it, your whole mood shifts. Your body tightens. Your heart feels heavy. And suddenly, that one thought feels like the truth. We've all been there. But what if that thought was only a visitor, not a verdict? Right now, as you're listening, your mind is probably doing what it always does, commenting, evaluating, predicting, remembering. It's talking, and that's okay. The problem isn't that you have thoughts. The problem is when you believe. Every single one of them. When you treat each thought like a fact instead of what it really is. A mental event passing through awareness. There is a gentle power in learning to listen to your thoughts without automatically agreeing with them. You don't need to fight your mind. You don't need to silence it. You only need to notice it. When you observe a thought, instead of becoming it, something soft and spacious opens inside you. You begin to see that you are not your anxiety, not your self-criticism, not your fear. You are the one who is aware of them, and in that awareness, you gain choice. You can say, this is a thought, instead of, this is who I am. You can let it pass like a cloud, instead of building your identity around it. This is where healing starts. Not by fixing yourself, but by relating to your inner world with kindness and clarity. Most of us live as if every thought in our mind is a command we must follow or a truth we must accept. A thought appears, and we immediately react to it, emotionally and physically, without ever questioning it. The mind says, "You're not good enough," we shrink. If it says something bad is going to happen, we tense up. But a thought is not an order, and it is not reality. It is simply an event, happening in consciousness, like a sound passing through the air. When you begin to see thoughts this way, something important changes. You stop treating them like authority figures and start seeing them as messages that may or may not be useful. Just because your mind produces a sentence does not mean you have to live by it. The mind's job is to generate ideas, memories, warnings, and stories. It does this automatically, the same way your heart beats. You don't choose every thought any more than you choose every breath. Learning to notice a thought without obeying it gives you back your power. You can pause and ask, is this helpful right now? You can let a thought be present without letting it run your life. In that pause, you become the one who listens, not the one who is controlled. And that is the beginning of inner freedom. Awareness is what creates space between you and what you think. Without awareness, a thought and your identity feel like the same thing. The moment a thought appears, you become it. You don't notice it happening because it feels so natural and automatic. But when awareness is present, something subtle and powerful occurs. You begin to see the thought instead of being inside it. Imagine sitting by the side of a road watching cars pass. The cars are your thoughts. When you're unaware, you're standing in the middle of the road getting hit by every one of them. When you're aware, you're sitting on the side observing them go by. You still see them, you still hear them, but they don't knock you down. This space is not cold or distant. It is gentle and alive. In that space, you can feel your breath, your body, the present moment. And from that grounded place, thoughts lose their grip. They can come and go without defining you. Awareness is not something you force. It grows when you slow down and pay attention with kindness. You notice what is happening inside without trying to change it. And in doing so, you discover that you are larger than any thought you have. You are the field in which thoughts appear, not the stories they tell. Observing without judging or suppressing is a delicate but deeply healing practice. Most of us are used to reacting to our inner world in extremes. When a thought feels uncomfortable, we either fight it, push it away, or criticize ourselves for having it. When a thought feels pleasant, we cling to it and want it to stay. Both. Reactions keep us trapped in the mind's drama. True observation is different. It means allowing a thought to be there without labeling it as good or bad. Right or wrong, when you simply notice a thought, you take away its fuel. You are no longer feeding it with resistance or attachment. You are not trying to fix it, and you are not trying to get rid of it. You are just letting it exist in the open space of awareness. This does not make you passive. It makes you present. There is great strength in this kind of presence. You are saying, I can handle what arises in me. You don't need to run from your inner experience or control it. You can meet it gently. And when you meet your thoughts this way, they often soften on their own. They lose their sharp edges. They pass more quickly. In observing without judgment, you learn to trust yourself. You learn that your inner world is not dangerous. It is simply alive, changing, and worthy of compassion. Compassion completely transforms the way you experience your inner voice. Without compassion, your thoughts often feel like enemies. You hear something painful in your mind and immediately turn against yourself. You judge, criticize, and add another layer of suffering on top of the original thought. But when compassion is present, your relationship with your mind softens. You stop treating yourself like a problem that needs to be fixed and start treating yourself like a human being who is learning. Compassion means listening to your thoughts the same way you would listen to a hurting friend. Not to agree with everything they say, but to understand where the pain is coming from. When your mind says, I'm not enough, compassion responds, something in me feels afraid right now. That shift changes everything. You move from self-attack to self-care. With compassion, you don't abandon yourself when difficult thoughts arise. You stay. You breathe. You offer warmth instead of pressure. This creates safety inside you, and in that safety, your thoughts begin to relax. They no longer have to scream to be heard. A compassionate relationship with your inner voice does not make you weak. It makes you resilient. It allows you to face your fears, doubts, and wounds without being overwhelmed by them. And from that gentle strength, real healing begins. Freedom begins the moment you stop identifying with every mental story your mind creates. For most of us, identity is built out of thoughts. We think, this is who I am, based on what the mind says about the past, the future, and ourselves. If the mind tells a story of failure, we become a failure. If it tells a story of success, we cling to that too. But both are just narratives, not the essence of who you are. When you stop merging with these stories, you discover something spacious and quiet underneath them. You realize you are not the character in every thought. You are the awareness that notices the character. This shift is subtle, but it is life-changing. You no longer have to defend your identity or protect an image. You can simply be present. Without constant identification, your mind still tells stories, but they don't own you. You can use them when they are helpful and release them when they are not. You are no longer trapped in old labels, roles, or fears. This is where freedom lives. Not in having perfect thoughts, but in not being ruled by them. When you stop taking every story personally, you create room for peace, authenticity, and choice. And in that space, you finally meet yourself as you truly are.